Ever wondered what makes TV so powerful in Jamaica? Time to find out. Welcome to Global TV Group 358, where television meets innovation. We're not just about shows, we're about shaping society. In Jamaica, TV keeps you informed, connects diverse voices, and supports democracy. Imagine a Jamaica where broadcasters unite, sharing data and collaborating globally. That's us, a unified voice in the TV industry. Did you know TV advertising is still king? It drives website traffic, boosts brand equity, and powers integrated campaigns. Even in an age of digital, TV stands strong, resilient in tough times. Our global TV deck is your treasure trove of insights and data. With charts, graphs, and success stories, it's your guide to impactful TV advertising. Curious to learn more? Visit our website and see how Global TV Group 358 keeps television at the heart of entertainment in Jamaica. Get ready to binge watch the future.
God of my salvation, because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is open. Rastafari. Come with I. Rastaman throw one stone, and it break a bad feeling to all wicked men. Not a people there. Make a man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Only when man like Marcus Garvey speak, wicked men would I hear. Hear now hear. Instead of that, they only sit aside and rob and cheat, and not first and four. Make up what I seen to make him a throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan! Make him a throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. So, my favorite part, if Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the day they can sell out Rasta and sell it out and sell out Babylon. They give man show one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. They give man show one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. If Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the dead and can sell out Rasta and sell out, I sell out Babylon. Just stop on the Friday. You might go and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black thing, man, throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. You have eyes to see, let him see. You have ears to hear, let them hear. What a prophet must say. President Mandela was in prison for 20 odd years. And he leave from the prison and take the seat of the president. Stone one. Big man throw one stone, throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men.
Stibbidim day, stibbidim day, stibbidim day. We in Global TV say certain kind of friend we no keep, and some informer friend we love like. We in Global, bona fake friend and bona tape. We in Global, we not promote them, we not support them. Look at them on the cheek, come here represent for. We in Global TV, check it.
Good evening, good evening. It is another Monday evening. Welcome to Global TV. It is the People's Point of View on YouTube, on TikTok, on Global TV Advanced Potentials. We're going to freelance this evening, and we're going to keep in the headline what should really be the headline story in our country: the mystery of the container that floated its way to the shores of Helsha Beach. We are going to pretend this evening like we believe them. We really are. And on that pretense, we have some questions to ask all the people who you see on screen this evening. Have a responsibility to speak to us with regards to the two major concerns that arose from the container, which is one, the security of our borders, the security of our waters, and two, the health implication that could arise from this. So all these people on screen are under a duty to speak to us with regards to what is happening. They are rather quiet, aren't they? To my community of party and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, viewers, subscribers, commenters, and trolls, good evening. Welcome. Thank you all for joining us on YouTube, on TikTok this evening. And as I said, we're going to freelance this evening. Sharon Bernard, good evening. Gloria Morris, Beat and Teach, good evening and welcome. Thank you all for joining us. Who else is here? Angel to guide you, good evening. Sunshine. Jamrock 8766, real sweet, good evening. Marcia Thomas. Good evening, JP, Yvonne Riley, Elijah B. Good evening, good evening. Who else is here? Violet Watson, good evening. Paulette Lewis, Clinton Actonson, good evening. Abina Sarkodi, Canadian Gal, good evening. Yvonne Johnson, good evening. Errol Clark, good evening, good evening. Millicent Jones, Nin Miles, good evening, Raymond, Norman Ferguson, good evening, and welcome. Let me see who is on the tick while I burst my flare. Over there, Dwight, Blake, Sunshine, Pamela, Dennis, Bridget, that girl, is it Lele? Good evening and welcome. Thank you all for joining us. Let me just use one of my flare. Okie dokie. So, everybody on screen: Estina Tyne, Annie Jones, Daphne Jackson, Marcia Essay, good evening. Everybody on screen is under a duty to speak to us. They're all rather silent. And if you think Jacqueline Beseso have not heard what happened, she's quite aware. Maybe she's under instruction, as everybody else, not to speak. If you're not aware why I say everybody on screen is under duty to speak to us, I will explain. Denise Hilton. The Prime Minister is the Minister of Defense, or military personnel, or whoever they are, patrol our waters. They also patrol our waters by air, not only by sea. Then Horace Cham is the Minister of National Security, which is responsible for our borders. You then have Chris Tufton, who is the Minister of Health, which is responsible for the health of the nation. Under Chris Tufton's direction, you have Jacqueline Besaso, which is the Chief Medical Officer. And you also have Floyd Green, the Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries, and what's it is, ever else. They're all silent about the issue. Mr. Green put a statement out over the weekend. Nobody else has spoken. Jacqueline Besaso, though, today has something else to say. Jacqueline today had something else to say. As if Jacqueline have not heard about the health concerns of the chicken. The chicken that fell from the sky. Because we pretend that we believe when we say afloat, the container float, you know. We're acting it like we believe. So the container have GPS on it. All things beautiful. Good evening. Welcome. Thank you for joining and thanks for the follow. We're going to pretend that the story is true. And we're going to pretend that the thing you have on GPS span it. Because you have to have GPS to find your way accurate, you know, or is it just a wonder and buck up? So Jacqueline came out today and is warning us, is warning Jamaican travelers to get their yellow fever vaccine. Hey, Jacqueline. Yes, Jacqueline said so. And Jacqueline told you of some cases in the region that the thing has showed up. Jacqueline is also advising that you go and get your yellow fever shot at Slipen Road, Montego Bay, what's it or rather. And Jacqueline says it costs $1,500, Judy. So, Jacqueline hear about this. So Jacqueline have to hear about the container. But let's start with the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister team patrols our water by sea and air. We're working with the floating story. Now, if that container floated its way to Jamaica, there's massive security concern Because how I know the sea and the shoreline operates, it's going to take days within Jamaica local water, at least at 24 hours in Jamaica local water to get to Helsha Beach, at least 24 hours. Drifting in Jamaica local water. Shane Grandison, how are you, Ingrid? How you doing? Roots, how are you? Althea, MC. We're working with the story, the drifting story, Ladybug, Sunshine, everybody, how you do? We're working with the drifting story. There's a massive failure here by the Coast Guard and those in the Coast Guard helicopter who patrol our waters. Because rather than have goggles or whatever, or is it that them not patrolling our waters at all? Because this container making its way to Helsha Beach would have been in Jamaica local water for days drifting. Not a few hours, not just overnight. Not a few hours, not just overnight. It would have been in Jamaica local water, drifting for a while. Susie Q, welcome. So there's a massive failure here with our Coast Guard and we bother police them. Massive, massive failure. Because this container, which has drifted for some time, it would manage to speed up him drifting in a way to avoid Julie Miss Mango. To avoid what you call the word? What you call the word? But you don't know what me talk. The local word I would have to avoid them, see them. Me not think the container have the capacity there, the capability there rather. So there's a massive failure here, Andrew Holness, in your Ministry of Defense, because they are given, Andrew, that we are a country that is plagued with the transshipment, Prime Minister, of drugs and guns. If a container moving so slowly, Prime Minister, in our waters and was not picked up by the Jamaica Defense Force, made its way to shore and was not picked up by our police. Imagine, Prime Minister, with boats, with engine boats, Prime Minister, or with speed boats, how much of those enter our country with drugs and guns that the Coast Guard is not aware of? But then given the problem we have with illegal firearm, evade, thank you, Opal. That means the container can speed up when you get in a Jamaica local water to evade the Coast Guard and the Coast Guard helicopters. I used to be in the fishing industry, Mr. Holness. Pedro Keys, roughly 100 miles from Jamaica. So we know how far and wide, Mr. Holness, the Coast Guard and the Coast Guard helicopter travels. Inspired family, thank you, welcome. There's a massive security failure here, Prime Minister. And what I don't hear coming from any of you, we are conducting investigation. No, what you call that type of press conference again? Lord, me done tonight, bad, sir. Joint press conference. No joint press conference with the Ministry of Defense, the Ministry of National Security, the Ministry of Health, and the Ministry of Agriculture. You can even join the other dunce as well, the Ministry of Commerce. Not a word. Barring Flags Green put out a half-baked story over the weekend. It done this so. Everybody mouth zip. If the government is asking us to believe that they are totally oblivious to this whole container scenario, why the government has not taken more robust steps to make sure those chicken where people take off, them get control of them and dispose of them. We're not told anything other than the people are told not to consume them, nor to give them to their animal or to sell them on. That's all. That's all the government tells us. Remember, I pretend tonight, minister, so we don't know. So we believe, say, never know about the container, just float past on us. So remember, pretend we are pretend. Remember, pretend we are pretend. All right, then, Chang. You're responsible for national security. National security, you're responsible for the police, but your responsibility also, Doctor, is to protect the borders of our country. All corners of it, every shoreline, every airport, every port, shipping port, such a port, and every community port in the country. Sophia, how are you? You are under duty, Dr. Chang, to make sure our borders are protected. It has passed the Coast Guard. I know you have police out there in our local water in speedboat, Dr. Chang. You see the major security failure with Andrew Holness and Horace Chang. And of course, sometimes failures do happen. The disrespect, though, in acting as if it has not happened, as if the nation ought not to be informed by the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Defense, the Ministry of National Security, and the Ministry of Agriculture. And if you want to join the other dunce from the Ministry of Commerce, you can so do. But the way they're all turning a blind eye like it don't happen or it is just the norm, there's nothing to worry about. How much people can read what Flag Green put out? Why you all not come in front of the camera and explain to the people what you know? Tell us what you know. Tell us what steps you are taking to protect the public. Black Apparel. Everybody, shut up. Then you move on to the doctor. The opposition spokesman on health came out and gave a comprehensive voice note to the public, which I'm going to play for you shortly, which everybody can listen to and understand what Dr. Dawes is saying. The Minister of Health, who is responsible, Dr. Dead Baby, Dr. Policing on the beach of Westmoreland, Doctor market me. Doctor dung in your throat. Doctor with our babies born in dog mouth is yet to recognize that there is a health concern arising from the container. Fitzroy, how you do? Chris Tufton is yet to recognize make money. How you do? Chris Tufton is yet to recognize Amanda Bryant, Suzette McIntosh, Isilda Williams. Dr. Tufton is yet to speak to the nation. We who pay Dr. Tufton millions to look after our health. Dr. Tufton, Renice, how you do? Yes, me come on half hour little early. You know time change in Britain now. So it have we in a zigzag. Dr. Tufton is yet to even recognize the issue. As the Minister of Health, the Minister of Health, given this great health concern, given we've just come out of a pandemic a couple of years ago, Dr. Tufton, even though not being a medical doctor, quotes Noreen, most of us know the danger of rice, egg, chicken, and things like that in the food industry. Dr. Tufton is yet to open his mouth. And Dr. Tufton is the one who is responsible for our health. Whether Dr. Tufton in Jamaica or not, it doesn't matter. They walk with a journalist as a government and government minister. Them walk with a journalist everywhere them go on cameraman. Somebody from JIS or PBCJ travel with them when them go somewhere. They not just go so. They can always, wherever they are in the world, respond to a developing situation within their country. Because every government, ministers and prime ministers, they carry state media with them wherever they go. That's why you see they always send their picture back and videos back and whatever they do. But it's not that Dr. Tufton is back in the Stone Age and Dr. Tufton is all the way in some village where phone and broadband not reach yet. That Dr. Tufton for days cannot address this issue. Jacqueline, they say so. The chief medical officer, so then say she be. Docile Jacqueline, because we have to name them like a Trump, you know. Docile Jacqueline, the chief medical officer of the country, come out today and is telling us, go and get your yellow fever vaccine. Ms. Biseso, though, has not recognized the health implications of the container. Can't to Ms. Biseso, either it don't happen, she not here yet, or me not know who Pat Brown tell her, say don't talk about it. But Jacqueline is silent. All of these people who took oath to look after our health, all of them is silent. The chicken are branded Brazil. Brazil just recalled 400 tons of chicken for salmonella and all that jazz. The government has no concern. It is not a bother, Sexy K. How you do? Is it Lena? It is not a bother for the government. Hmm? We cannot be paying a government, and we have a situation in our country that deserves leadership addressing the issue. And everybody in leadership where this issue is concerned is silent. Because if the container prime minister floated its way to Hellshire Beach, which is impossible, prime minister. Prime minister, it is impossible. Horace Chang, it is impossible. Flight Green, it is impossible. Christine Gilbert, how you do? But let's work on the assumption that we believe you all, that it floated its way there. Can you not then recognize the security concern? The shamble border security we have? The shamble service we're getting from the Coast Guard, those on the sea and those in the Coast Guard helicopter? Because it never just turned up overnight. It would have to be in Jamaica water for days, in Jamaica local water, before it get to the shore of Hellshire. Don't you recognize the security implications, Prime Minister? Don't you recognize in your fight against crime and the illegal importation of firearm, Prime Minister, that if a container moving that slow, Prime Minister, can make its way to Hellshire Beach unchecked, unseen, can you imagine how much speedboat, Prime Minister, or engine boat would make its way into the country with illegal firearm? How does that look for your crime fighting strategy, Prime Minister? Aren't you going to recognize the security concern that your security apparatus has failed because the Coast Guard turn up? Yes, Dennis, you can ask me a question. The Coast Guard should have spotted this because the container wouldn't have moved so speedily. That's in a Jamaica water for days, where if our Coast Guard is doing their job, we should have spotted something, Prime Minister, shouldn't we? So there's a massive failure in defending our borders, Prime Minister, and we want you to address that. We also want Dr. Chang to address the national security failure of this container making its way to our shore without our security services knowledge. Barbara, how are you? Michelle Lewis Wilson. We want both of them to answer to the security implications coming out of this floating container. We also, okay, if it was PNP, don't ask me no bomber blood clot. Don't ask me so. Don't come ask. Listen, I freelance this evening, so I'm entitled for cuss. Don't come blood clot ask me about if I did PNP in a power and it happened. Don't blood clot ask me so. It happened under Andrew Watch. And that me a blood clot deal with. Oh no, don't provoke me so this evening, no, sir. Sir, if you find me rude, I apologize. But don't come over my page, come play politics. You see, if you want to play politics, sir, turn on your page and go live. When we talk about the security implications of our country and the health implications of our people, sir, don't come over my page with politics. If you happen under PNP watch, sir, take out Andrew and put in PNP. It is simple. But don't come on my page with the politics bullshit. When me talk about the health concern and the security, I will cuss you, sir. Sir, me only adapt manners along the way and about something me born with. One must go, Hata Press, good evening and welcome. One must try to get out of the tribalism when we're dealing with issue, Andrew Brown, of national concern. If you want it, if you can ask PNP, what if it happened under Jesus Christ Jamaican uno dance, and this is why I do this work to try help someone. Why are you hypothesizing a real issue? The issue real already, sir? Sir, the issue is already real. Do not hypothesize reality. Do not, sir. Do not hypothesize reality. The incident real already. It happened under the watch of Andrew Holness and Dr. Chang, Christopher Tufton Slide Green, and Jacqueline Beseso. I have nobody else to question in position of power and authority. I cannot use a real situation, sir, and go off and question the People's National Party in hypotheses as to what they would have done if the situation happened under their concern. I don't learn to stop dunce, Dunceness doesn't carry a prize with it. Otherwise, you all would be walking around flaunting your presence at us. Color, how you do? Una na get nothing out of dunceness. Stop with the tribalism, true love. How are you? Cool down upon the tribalism, man. There are things in our country. The man come ask me, say, what if it happened when PNP was in power? So I have a cuss bad word. Me don't have no cleaner way of answering a question like that. Unless you would have to write it down, give me. But in my mind, to answer it so. Because it's really a stupid question. To use hypothesis to deal with a real situation. We're in reality already, sir. Can you please stay in it? Would you like to stay in reality? Let's get back to them. So we were with Dr. Chang on the failure of our borders. Dr. Chang has the responsibility of protecting our borders. A container, which is not a speedboat, doesn't have an engine on, has managed to make its way to our shores. That is a massive security implications. Massive. The government ought to address it. The government ought to tell us if they're investigating and what they're investigating for that matter, if they are. The government must also speak to the health implication. Not only that, but also does house-to-house thorough investigation in the area where those chicken got dispersed. The police should have moved in rapidly from over the weekend. We have not heard anything. If they do, Eva Williams, we're not being told. And this man come and ask me, what if this happened when PNP was in power? Sir, you're lucky on a one of the day when me feel like behave like a labor right, sir. If I feel like behaving like a labor right today, I would chew you up, spit you out, and then step on you. So careful of asking stupid questions, because sometimes when a question is over stupid, it can really get under my skin. Especially when it's coming from adult. Especially when it's coming from adults, sir. Question like that can get under my skin. Move out on the tribalism and let us deal with national issues that are of national concern. Because if the chicken distributed, it's not just PNP that will be affected. It's both PNP and JLP that will be affected. So I don't know, oh, you know, Debbie Jervis, welcome, welcome. I don't know how you come and come ask me, what if it was PNP? Wait then, sir. The easiest answer I would have to wait to tell you is wait till they come in power. But me not so patient. You understand? Then now on to Christopherton. Christopherton is the Minister of Health. Christopherton is responsible to protect our health. Christopherton is yet to even recognize that there's a health implication. The Ministry of Health and the public health inspectors, nobody spoke to us to tell us if they're carrying out any major investigation to recoup these distributed chicken in order to prevent any health implication that could arise from consuming these chicken. The other thing to look at, why they're all silent, is it because they know why they are silent? One, that sounds obvious. Another concern I have, even though it was said the chicken were destined to Cayman, but there is a black market in shipping. I'll try to use the Russian sanction to explain how the shipping black market works, if I understand it well. Say for example, when they put on all these sanctions on Russia, like Germany, who is a main dependent on Russian oil and gas, they put sanction on Russia. Now, what Germany would do after the sanction on Russia is to use a third country to buy those oil from Russia. Say, for example, you have a country like, say, Austria. So Austria would go to Russia. The Austrian ship would go to Russia, buy the oil, then disembarking from the Russian port, that Austrian ship would go out there somewhere in the deep, meet up a commercial ship, not really named to any country that you can identify, offload those containers of oil and gas onto that ship, which would make its way to Germany, but it would be a ship hard to identify as to which country it is traveling to. Now, why I'm saying this, I don't know, my mind think wild sometime. There's a chicken recall. If I don't know if Jamaica is doing direct chicken business with them, but if they're not, could it be that they are doing the third country chicken shipping, and then they would exchange packaging when it's get into this country? I don't know. Could it be that they have it here, and because of the recall, that's why them get the Coast Guard or whatever to carry it around there so go dump? It's just question, and this is how speculatory reasoning works. If the people in position of power who know more and can advise us as to what is happening speak to us, then it tempers down the lots of speculatory questions and reasoning that we would have in public. Debian, how you do? Sexy K, welcome. But all of these people are rather silent on us, and there are many concerns. If we are concerned about crime, Prime Minister, this is a major security breach for the country. Prime Minister, this was not a speedboat. This was not an engine boat, Prime Minister. This was a container pitching and tossed in the water. That made its way to Helsha Beach, Prime Minister, without being spotted by the security services. Without being spotted by local fishermen, Prime Minister. Isn't it weird though? This is why I don't need to say something to it. Because we are very much confused. Because as I've said this morning, the rickety tickety Happy, how are you? The rickety tickety galanging round a Helsha shore that the amount of reef and all them something there. The container really would have a GPS to guide it through the rickety tickety of Helsha. Why not expect us in a broad daylight, Prime Minister, to behave to believe such a foolishness? To contain a float. Who ran the plane down by Clarendon? Boy, well, yeah, we have to go ask Andrew and Chang, you know, because fan that plane they did drop off down in the sea down there. We don't hear gun fire about it. This is the problem with security in a free country. When these security breaches take place, we don't have adequate information from the people who we employ to protect us. We don't even know. Floyd Green, as the Minister of Agriculture, he ought to make sure his department is aware of all the whatever information that they can get from the container to aid the investigation of the police, because the whole of these people have to be working together: defense, JDF, police, health, and agriculture, because it's a breach that covers all of them. Dwight, how you do? It is a breach that covers all of them. And to date, the only person that addressed the issue comprehensively, at least one could say, Junior, how you do, is Dr. Alfred Dawes. I haven't heard anybody from the government and any of the people who I have on screen, which is in direct contact with this issue. Diego Don, good evening. All of these people who are in direct contact with this issue, from the Prime Minister, who is our Defense Minister, Horace Chang, who is our Border Security Minister, Tufton, who is our Health Minister, Jacqueline Beseso, the Chief Medical Officer, the Agriculture and Fisheries Minister. Everybody, Floyd Green, we must admit, put out a statement over the weekend. Inadequate, Mr. Green. Not enough. An issue like this, Mr. Green, deserves a joint press conference with the Ministry of Defense, the Ministry of National Security, the Ministry of Health, and the Ministry of Agriculture. And as I said, bring in the other dons from the Ministry of Commerce, if you so choose. But this is another leadership failure of this government. This is another leadership failure, Anna B, from this government. Because this government, caution the adjudicator, This government, whenever it comes to leadership, is always flat on its face. Always. Andrew Holness, feel shame. For say everything where you touch fall apart. Are you the Minister of Defense? Are you responsible for we Coast Guard and we helicopter them, we patrol the water, Prime Minister? That's your failure. And it is your failure, Prime Minister, to not lead on this issue. Because what this issue takes, Prime Minister, is policy leadership, not just operational leadership. Policy leadership. Something that you cannot do, Andrew Holness. The only thing you do good is thief, because you're not a good liar. You're not a good liar. The only thing you do good is thief, and lots of it. The only person to address this issue comprehensively is Dr. Dawes. What a failure of a government. What a failure. And this is painful to some degree, because it's like hungry people picking up food off a dot for eat. Somebody block that pussy there for me now, please. The pussy when I'm chopper done. Somebody block that pussy there for me. Come in the fuckery tonight. Me feel like behave like a labor right tonight. Somebody, moderators, block that pussy there when I'm chopper done, please. Before me run up on them mother like a wild rat tonight. Anyway, don't go there with him. Carlos. Wagwan. Failure. The failure of Andrew Holness. This is a massive border failure, Prime Minister, and this is your failure. The Jamaica Defense Force, Prime Minister, has failed us. Or Coast Guard boats, Prime Minister, and Coast Guard helicopter has failed. Because if a floating container, Prime Minister, moving this slow and was not spotted by them, imagine the daily failure of engine boats coming from Haiti, Prime Minister. How does this look for your crime fighting? Ask the US State Department, who have just put out a report on you. The JDF, as I've asked this morning, has question to answer. We know the JDF pick up things and drop it wherever they want. In the case of Orville Moore, who they dropped over the purchase precipice. We want to know what role. We flip back, we're going back to we don't believe you. Remember, I said we explore the we believe your part, and we ask a question them on the premise that we believed you that the container floated its way into the country. Just how are you? So we ask you those questions based on the fact that we believe you when you said the container floated its way. But acting now as if we don't believe you, which we don't. Jesus Christ, labor right, them start again. Labor rights, a 5 TikTok page may have. So if you don't want to keep it up tonight, you can start it because you can run it out tonight. Them start already, my people. Just get a violation warning in a little while. So, now that Silver looking, how you do? Now that we don't believe you, we ask the Jamaica Defense Force the question, what role have you played in the container? Was it a similar role you played as in Mr. Orwell Moore's demise. Because you can pick up things, you have the capacity, to pick up things and drop it here. But that container have to have GPS, the rickety tickety and the holy reef and stone round Elsha. So we want to know if we collect the GPS off of the container. We want to know the material of the container. Is it is it plastic and styrofoam? Because it managed to float its way from over yonder. It managed to float its way from over yonder. So we don't have to question you on this, Slim, that the Coast Guard has failed. What we're questioning here now, Prime Minister, on the flip side, that the story now goes so, what role, Prime Minister, that our security services played in anchoring this container at Helsha Beach. Prime Minister, it never make it way upon its own. It got there with company, Prime Minister. The container, Prime Minister, never turn up upon its own. It came there with company. What we want to know, Prime Minister, who assisted the container to make its way to Helsha Beach? And maybe Andrew Holness and Horace Chang, who is responsible for the security of the country, can tell us who assisted the container to make its way carefully to Helsha Beach. We want to know. We ought to know. It's our country's security that has been breached. Try one done. It is our country's security that has been breached. And we want to know what role the Jamaica Defense Force played in assisting the container. Did they give cover? Did they give GPS guidance? What role, Prime Minister, did your JDF members play? Is it Cheryl Curry? Good evening and welcome. Can we go on like we're born fool, Press the follow button for us, please. If you're new to Global TV Advanced Potentials, good evening and welcome. Thank you for joining us. Give us a follow so when we go live, you will get your notification. Thank you all very much for your support. Don't block something. I don't block Mark. Make Mark having free speech. Don't block him, poor thing. Don't block him. Like when him having a question him asking him just to make a stupid statement. Stupid statements are allowed. Just stupid questions are not allowed tonight because we never put in my stupid marbles tonight, you see. And you have to be carrying a stupid marble to really tolerate stupid question. And the labor rights, they're very good at the questions where they just pluck out of thin air. They're not even in a space where you can hold on upon them. They just pluck them out of thin air and answer them. But sir, the question, anyway, never mind. Let us listen to Dr. Dawes addressing the issue because labor rights, when you see the PNP turn government before they win. Labor rights. When you don't say, no, but I have to play Andrew Jamaica's statement 10 years ago when an attack on Portia Simpson's government on the Mark, was it the Mark Azan or was it Mark or Richard Azan issue? One of the Azan issue. And Andrew Holness was saying then that if Portia them can run the country, to leave it, the people them, I'm going to play it for you, and you can tell what you heard from this lying, wicked, thieving, pickpocket, lick spittle on its knee government. Uncle Ben, good evening. Michibu, good evening.
I truly believe our political system needs some fixing. Too much you hear about corrupt politics.
I know this, but let this go on. It deserves to play this because what they said then about the Portia Simpson government, isn't it so much reflective of the Andrew Holness regime now? And then after, we'll go to the Richard Azan, his press conference on the Richard Azan issue back then.
I truly believe our political system needs some fixing. Too much you hear about corrupt politicians and nothing happen. Too much you hear about politicians who take away poor people money and none of them reach in jail. And to the young people at home or wherever you are, and to all Jamaicans, I have one question for you. Take a look at your communities. Take a look at the sliding dollar. Take a look at the failing healthcare and ask yourselves, where is the progress? Where is the progress that this arrogant and disrespectful government keeps talking about? With this existing callous government, matters have gone from bad to worse.
You know, I really like the Matthew Samuda line. With this existing callous government, Andrew Holness, matters, and I need to clip that bit out, Andrew. With this existing callous government, Prime Minister, matters has gone from bad to worse. Let us remind Andrew how he dealt with things when he was in opposition.
We don't feel comfortable sitting in Parliament with a Minister of Government who has openly accepted responsibility, who expresses no regret for the act, where a Commissioner of Parliament has confirmed that the act is corrupt and has referred it for prosecution. And that minister shows no sign of wanting to resign, or the Prime Minister showing no signs of moving to dismiss the minister.
With all the sympathy that one can have for support, this is embarrassing, not only to the government as a party, not only the PNP, but to the government, to Jamaica, to all of us. Our heads bow this morning with this sort of reaction to it.
So we have to take firm actions in this regard. It is a dark day for Jamaica, where the Prime Minister is unwilling or afraid to act against a minister in which the public has lost total confidence and in which the institutions of the society are all agree that this person does not enjoy their trust or faith and has breached the confidence that the people have placed in them. I believe that this has the potential, if it continues, to bring down the entire government.
Cockmouth kill cock. Only if Andrew Holness could honor his words. Only if Andrew Holness could really honor his words. He has failed, though, so many times. So many times this young man has failed on the words, on his promises. This is a prime minister of unfulfilled promises. A prime minister who lied barefacedly whenever the camera is in front of him. It is why this prime minister has gotten to the point of desperation, where the prime minister become an international beggar. Scraping prime minister from the bottom of the barrel. It's where you have taken the Jamaica Labour Party to. Never before that we've seen a prime minister going abroad, asking diasporans, help me to accumulate votes at home. Prime Minister, that was very disgraceful. That was desperation, Prime Minister, at quite a high level. Chet out hand, Prime Minister, as Blamden would have said, John Crow, go look a walk, dog shit, go look a walk. Begging. Come on, Prime Minister. We know Horace Chang not too good past sight. We never know you join the blind crew. Let's donate and give the Prime Minister a dog tonight. Because in England, if you want to make money out of begging, you have to have a dog with you. The Prime Minister deserves, because the Prime Minister hand will always check out. Somebody got drop hot fire coal in your hand, Prime Minister, you beg too much. And whether you go down a tourist people, where Prime Minister, when them dead, a batter and a struggle and suffer, you never turn your eye one side pan them. It was you, Prime Minister, who sent Delano Steve Wright, go down a White River, go mash up poor people, pick the rafting. And then you turn around and go down there, go beg them to vote for you. Bare face and dry eye. So you know, say the whole country at home fall out of love with your Prime Minister. And everybody knows, say, you're the new lie upon the block. Nobody no listen to you. Nobody no believe what you say. But causing to say, Prime Minister, you know, say, we're foreign here. We send home money. Go give with people them. So you come a foreign now, come tell we say, use the money where you send, go give them as leverage and say, look here, wanna make sure wanna vote for good economic management. Prime Minister, you need to tell you if you go war, Prime Minister. You need to say, Prime Minister, Supreme Works, good evening. You need to say if you go war and tara, Prime Minister. Everybody fed up on you. So when you are come out far in you, Lovan Burnett, rather, sorry for the mix up. When you, Prime Minister, left all the way come a foreign here, so we hate you more than Jamaicans, because what Jamaicans at home would tolerate you with Prime Minister, we would hang, burn, and torture you. And we see one, John Crow, you come ask to protect your back and beg vote for you. This man is a piece of common dog shit, don't you think?
Tipping point, as the Cornwall Regional Hospital did, for many years of lack of maintenance. And it is just now, with the good, solid economic management, that we are able to make.
You go mad with the one word. And that's all you got to school go learn. You study degree. You got to school go study countless a Dr. Watsits. And all you can come out of university to talk about a good economic management. Mad way, Prime Minister. Mad way, Prime Minister. And come a Bellevue, come look for we. If the Prime Minister is telling you, move your foot so me can get your pass, he said, the good economic management say, move your foot, make me pass. No, sir. I tell you the good economic. Jamaica, type in the chat, yes, if you're tired of the good economic management, and no, if you're not tired. Take it away on both platforms. Yes, if you're tired of the good economic management, and no, if you don't tired of it, but me tired.
Tipping point, as the Cornwall Regional Hospital did, for many years of lack of maintenance.
I don't say yes.
And it is just now, with the good, solid economic management, that we are able to make allocations. Not enough for it to be done all at once. We don't have the capacity to do it all at once. We don't have enough contractors to do it all at once. But, you know, the minister with our portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation responsible for works pointed out that no other administration has spent the budget that we have spent on the maintenance of roads.
And he's serious when he's very, very serious.
And yet, there is still this paradox of progress, this displacement of progress. People feel that they are not included. So, I think you've got the picture. And I've used certain sectors in the economy to show you that cocoon, how we are making the progress. Right? And whilst we are in that cocoon, it's an uncomfortable period, and there are persons who will feel that they are not a part of the transformation. So what I'm enlisting you to do this afternoon is to explain what I have said to you, to your family back in Jamaica.
You disgraceful piece of shite. You disgraceful run like water. Soft shit Andrew Holness is asking us in foreign to explain the good economic management to our country at home, you bucket of soft shit.
Right? And whilst we are in that cocoon, it's an uncomfortable period, and there are persons who will feel that they are not a part of the transformation. So what I'm enlisting you to do this afternoon is to explain what I have said to you, to your family back in Jamaica. Because you easily relate to what I have said to you. Because you have to live that experience here every day.
And for the people them, wow! Wow! Me see him! See him kill me! Why? Me see him! Why?
In the roads and the potholes, what happened? People leave. And that is what has happened to Jamaica.
Say $100 foreigner tell lie pound, say a bad road make on left Jamaica. Say Andrew go all the way foreign. When $100 Jamaican, Andrew no know why we left Jamaica. Me never hear him talk about why we left yet. Say Andrew go all the way foreign. Go talk say a bad road make we left Jamaica. Bad road, Prime Minister. Bad road. I wonder why the taxi driver them don't left. Prime Minister, have you ever wondered why the taxi driver them don't left Jamaica? If a bad road make we left, then we shouldn't have any taxi driver in Jamaica. Because them meet the brunt of the bad road by everybody else, because them have to spend more than anybody else in the bad road economy, Prime Minister. The bad road good economy, Prime Minister. Stop walking and tell lie pan with, sir. And stop walking and look we fi back you up in your fuckery. We're not so fool. You know, the people them a laugh after you. So you're fool, you know. You might not believe say laugh them a laugh after you. But the people them a say, watch the damn fool what we want to get rid of. And we same one. Well, we 80 more on Jamaica people. And we same one him a come ask fi go beg for him. So you beg too much. Fold your hand and put it in your pocket. Mind somebody drop hot fire coal in there, you beg too much for big man.
So it is very important that whatever you vote for and whoever you vote for, make sure you are voting for the maintenance of good economic management.
God, if you don't mad me. If you don't see the Prime Minister mad me. Listen, Prime Minister, pay me $1 every time you talk that word. Just pay me $1, Prime Minister, every time you speak that bull crap. If you pay me $1, I wouldn't have to work anymore, because the amount of time, Prime Minister, you would have used the good economic management in a one day. I'm sure if you and Juliet sleeping at the same bed, Juliet can tell we say you're struggling in your sleep at night time where you jump out and scream about good economic management. Whoa, Prime Minister, where you scream saying in your sleep, sir. The way all you talking in your waking time, you have to ball out good economic management in your sleep. You cannot, Prime Minister, don't have good economic nightmare at night time.
Whatever color you prefer.
Beggy, Peggy, Prime Minister. Prime Minister Peggy.
Whatever household you grew up in, whoever is your favorite leader, whoever inspired you, all I say to you is this: vote for the best interest of Jamaica. Jamaica is at the inflection point in its transformation journey. And during this difficult cocoon, whoever is at the helm must assure, if not guarantee, those who have not yet felt the effects of transformation, those who have been displaced by the process of progress.
So here he's telling the people them in a foreign, make sure when you talk to them, tell them, say, Andrew Holness a plan. Andrew Holness tell you last year, say, we are going to pivot and we're going to start feel the tangible benefits of the good economic management. So I hit you now, I tell the people them a foreign, say, tell us, say, this is the government that make sure, in third term, become member, say, in take one for him, in take second term for him, Norman Brown, him wife, him son, and a few friends. Because no big war in the Labour Party because Andrew no share the stolen loot well enough. But he might tell the foreign people them, GB33, how you do? He might tell the foreign people them, if you tell Uno say, this government is going to make sure Uno get a share of the good, stable economy. Hey, murder, Prime Minister. Your 10th budget. And no, we don't hear nothing in the field. And we have to go wait till the 11, 8, 9, 20, and 21 budget, Prime Minister. Because we heard your 10th quarrel the other day. And I didn't hear anything in your quarrel for poor people, Prime Minister. And now you gonna tell foreign people to tell we say, you are gonna make sure you share it with us. When, though, Prime Minister, is the question. Quite never in the budget, yeah? But you are coming to us to give you another 4 or 5 years. If you come give we another 4 or 5 budget, we're not in a WIFA, not in the FIWI. In my world, I would have want to tie you up and you got Bellevue, go left you there. But Prime Minister, I really cannot do it at the moment because everybody would have tell me, say, I'm mad. Everybody, Prime Minister, would have look upon me and say, look, pan the fool. If me take you up and carry you go left off up there. Nobody never go blame you. And me, everybody go blame.
The process of transformation will be fair, inclusive, and equitable. And that is what this government has sought to do. We have announced a program called the Solidarity Program. And we will be rolling that program out shortly. Because we know that there are people in Jamaica who have not benefited from any of the COVID grants. I know a lot of you here would have got back checks from your government during COVID.
You should have shame. Jankro. Jankro without wing. Jankro without beak. You should have shame. Figure foreign. Go use COVID money in your mouth when you know, say, you collect billions, Prime Minister. Billions from international donor countries. Billions of it. And not a soul, Prime Minister, get a dime. Dennis Bull, how are you? Not a soul get a dime in a Prime Minister. You should be ashamed of yourself. Figure foreign after you thief the people them foreign money, Prime Minister. Figure foreign I talk about it. Isola Campbell, how are you, my friend? No shame at all. You should have even shame to mention COVID money in Jamaica. Greg, how are you? Not to mention go all the way a foreign. After you thief the people their money, Prime Minister, you have the nerve for the all the way a foreign I talk about it. Claudette Campbell, how are you? Hello, Steve. Are you okay, dear? Do you want to come over and have a chat with us, dear Steve? No, sir, Steve gone wild tonight. Whoa, Steve can't only type one line, SYM Street, SYM Street, SYM. Do you want me to sing SYM Street, Steve? The labor rights, you know, it's what they really do. Can't help it. If we don't have a dunce government, then you will have to have dunce supporters, isn't it?
Government has
dunce, big up dunce. Let's make we write it like how the Bible right generation. Dunce begot dunces.
We have announced a program called the Solidarity Program.
Shameful.
And we will be rolling that program out shortly. Because we know that there are people in Jamaica who have not benefited from any of the COVID grants. I know a lot of you here would have got back checks from your government during COVID. That's the benefit of living in an economy that is doing well.
Whoa!
Yes. Some of you did hear.
Murder!
There are many Jamaicans who got back from the government. In fact, I make this point. Not one Jamaican civil servant or public sector worker was laid off. Not one.
What about the old people though, Prime Minister? What about the old people and those who were at disadvantage, Prime Minister? When we talk about your public sector workers, what about poor people? What about the elderly, Prime Minister? What about those family with children who couldn't come out the market, go sell them food, or go do them little hustler nighttime, Prime Minister? What about the sound man, the hig? What about those people, Prime Minister? What about the go-go? What about the barman, Prime Minister? They're all people too.
And no salaries were cut during COVID for public sector workers. None.
Which part of Kingston, Empress Deb? Why there's some spurious fire going on all about the place. And that may ask him, Nora, what about the elders? What about the women with children? What about the people who hustle day and night, who everybody hustle was cut off? What about those people? Yes, the Prime Minister tell us say the younger people in spend the donor countries them money pan is in public sector workers. That's not what it was meant for, Prime Minister. It's to help out all Jamaicans who were penalized by the COVID protocols. So not just public sector workers' salary were to be maintained from those money, Prime Minister. The people across the country were to be looked after with those billions you collected from Britain, Zeets, how you do? Britain, America, the European Union, China, India, and all sorts, Prime Minister. There are billions and millions of that money that was not being spent, Albert Samuels. Tantamount of that money, Prime Minister, that has not been spent. One of the fire truck did not have any water in the truck. Come on, assault, Empress. Murdoy, caring government, good economic government to manage the economy, good government we have got promise figure we something out of the economy after 10 years. Government. They don't understand when we say Andrew is a failed leader. The JLP will never understand until Andrew has been slaughtered at the polls that Andrew Holness is a terrible leader. The worst we have ever seen in our living memory. Thieves, lies. Most criminally aligned Prime Minister, where his criminality is just laid bare to the public. They will never realize until the aftershocks of Andrew Holness that will completely destroy the Jamaica Labour Party. You all are not aware that that is the journey Andrew Holness have you on at the moment. But it will be a total destruction of the Jamaica Labour Party. Because let me tell you why it will be. The wool that was pulled over the public's eye after the Michael Manley and Siaga debacle as to who was to be blamed for the violence, the food embargo, the hunger, and the sanctions. This time with an Andrew Holness regime, the truth will be unearthed. We're in a faster moving era. We're in a more information accessible era, Prime Minister. We're in the science and technology, information and communication era. The veil, Prime Minister, has been lifted, Carlton, through your entire reign. Remember, Prime Minister, I find your opposition leader, you've been dashed out by the courts, Chef James, how you do? From your opposition leader, you have been dashed out by the courts. And we see, being Prime Minister for 2 terms, the court regularly dash you out. Prime Minister, if our judges were corrupt like you know, would that hell be ahead in a dictatorship right now? Thank you, Chef James. If, Prime Minister, our judges, even though some of them bloody well corrupt, we know that. But if our judges were as corrupt as our prime minister, we would be headlong in dictatorship, because some of the laws that this prime minister brought to parliament and passed them, that the court had to struck back, we would be way baby straight nation. How are you? Bobby Straight Nation, how are you? We would be way into a dictatorship if this government have its way to just ram raid its chosen legislation to our legislature. We would be so far down the road in dictatorship. But the Jamaica Labour Party will only understand the failure, the dismal failure that Andrew Holness is, only in the aftershock of the general election. That's the only time the Jamaica Labour Party, because at the moment, they are tunnel visioned into the Prime Minister's cockafart of bullshit. Literally, tantamount of it when the Prime Minister ready to spout it out. Most of us in Jamaica know how cow shit sound pan axe fault. The Prime Minister does a lot of it. It is only in the aftershock, Jamaica Labour Party, that you will come to understand how destructive Andrew Holness has been to your party. And I want to end the night tonight, leeching, starting with Barclays Bank, Findlay's Kitchen. Welcome, cousin. How you do? What would the PNP do differently from JLP that they are working on the same monarchy? Cousin, I can't answer your question tonight because I would have to answer it long-winded. But you're a good researcher. Look at Michael Manley's social programs as opposed to the Jamaica Labour Party social program. Also look at how the People's National Party run the economy as opposed to the Jamaica Labour Party. Those would be a two good place to start. But as I said, I'm going to end on leeching tonight. And Barclays Bank of London, which most of us in the United Kingdom use Barclays Bank. Barclays Bank stole the wealth of Jamaica. Kashore, how are you? Stole the wealth of Jamaica and enriched the United Kingdom. Does Barclays Bank still operate in Jamaica? Yes, they do. Is Barclays Bank still ripping off poor people in Jamaica? Yes, the bloody hell, they do. Who are Barclays Bank in Jamaica? Well, then under the colonial structure, they were Barclay DCO. The Barclays DCO meant Barclays Bank, Dominion, Colonies, and Overseas. Overseas mean territories, overseas territories. And you know, the scraping of the wealth of slavery that amassed the wealth of Britain. That same bank became what some of us older generation knew of the Royal Bank of Jamaica when the Jamaica government acquired the bank, full shares of the bank in the 70s. It later then, under private acquisition, became National Commercial Bank. Thieving, leeching bank. Have you ever wondered why your money always gets stolen out of leeching bank? Because it's that very same bank Barclays that has been ripping off poor people, that has scraped the wealth of Jamaica and enriched this very Britain. This same Barclays of London, operating from the 16 so and so. So when on a silly chin, a dip in our money every minute, it ought to be no surprise. It's what Leachin inherited. It's what they are a part of, Raymond Burke. It is what they are all a part of. So as me always sotono, be careful with leeching on the money. Uno know say the scammer them live in a leeching bank. That's their first go-to when it comes to bank scamming. Be aware of who you're doing business with. Remember, it was in the same leeching bank that Andrew Holness opened an empty bank account, and then SSL stopped off by that same bank and put over 100,000 US dollars. The Prime Minister still cannot speak to the nation on how he withdrew his money before the bank collapsed. And the Prime Minister cannot tell us either whether his friend and advisor, who was an executive at SSL, Zachary Harding, has given him insider information, or for that matter, if Nigel Clark, who got the report and sat on it pretending he did not, gave the Prime Minister inside information that allowed the Prime Minister to withdraw his investment. There you have the same old parlor who they fought hard to maintain is blocking justice, because Paula Llewellyn has been sent a file by FID suggesting other SSL top brass to be charged for the fraud. Paula Llewellyn, though, who must go by September, is still sitting on that report from FID without charging anybody else at SSL. Jean Spanton, defense attorney, is pushing for access to the Kroll report. Under the disclosure rule, they must be given access in order to prepare Ms. Spanton's defense. Thank you very much for being here tonight on the Global Television Group. Lovely to have your support. As always, if you are not yet following Global TV on TikTok, please give us a follow now, so when we go live, you will be notified. If you're watching on our YouTube channels, please make sure you give us a subscription. I didn't know why the bulldog in a lipstick. I used the report. Judgment on wicked liar Paula thief in Llewellyn. As or per usual practice, we will sing you out tonight with the Lipstick Queens of Ghana.
Oh, thy peace, God of my salvation, because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is open. Rastafari. Come with I. Rastaman throw one stone, and it break a bad feeling to all wicked men. Not a people there. Make a man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Only when man like Marcus Garvey speak, wicked men would I hear. Hear now hear. Instead of that, they only sit aside a rub and cheat. And now first and foremost, make up what I seen to. Big him and throw and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a block, big him and throw and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. So, my favorite man, if Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the day them can sell out Rasta and sell it out and sell out Babylon. They give man show and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. They give man show and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. If Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the dead and can sell out Rasta and sell out, I sell out Babylon. Just stop on the Friday. You might go and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black baby man, go and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. You have eyes to see, let him see. You have ears to hear, let them hear. What a prophet must say. President Mandela was in prison for 20 odd years. And he leave from the prison and take the seat of the president. Stone one. Big him and show and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black big him and show and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Rasta man show and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men.
Thank you very much, everyone, for a night well spent. And tell the government we are going to scratch record the chicken container until they decide to speak on the issue. Join us right back here tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock Eastern Time, afternoon time, 1 p.m. UK time for your At a Glance program. Thank you very much, and good night from Global TV.
If you don't like missing out on the latest shows but still enjoy classic hits, then Global TV Group 358 is your perfect match. Global TV Group 358 isn't just another channel, it's your ultimate TV experience. From breaking news to binge-worthy dramas and timeless classics, we've got it all. Our unique blend of original content and global favorites means there's something for everyone. And guess what? With GTVG's seamless streaming, you can watch anywhere, anytime. Plus, our interactive features let you be part of the action. So, whether you're a seasoned binge watcher or a casual viewer, Global TV Group 358 is here to keep you entertained day and night. Don't just watch TV, experience it with Global TV Group 358. Subscribe now and never miss a moment.